everyone, Techne here with a little bit of a different video today. It kind of goes right in line with my previous video, the one that was called Inside Look of a Tech Reviewer or a Product Reviewer. I forget which way I worded it right there. Gonna go same in line right here. I want to really kind of bring out and let you guys know the difference between tech reviewers receiving free product, sponsored videos, and then paid product. As far as paid product, like we paid for it ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but before I started YouTube, even now compared to like big YouTubers like millions and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and everything, you know what I mean? By the way, we're almost at 100,000. But anyways, I'm just really curious still as far as that, like how do theirs work, you know what I mean? But all I can give you is my example as far as my experiences right here and seeing what happens in, again, this kind of space from my experience so far. Again, I've always been curious about it. So I figured, heck, let me share it with you guys and maybe you guys are as well. So before we get started with the video today, I would like to take a minute and thank our sponsor of this video. And that sponsor is going to be the Techne. And what the Techne has here for you are some nice t-shirts. As you can see, we have a wide array of colors in black and in red. They got a nice gear on it. I don't really know how to promote my own stuff here. Anyways, sponsor of this video is Techne. We got t-shirts and we also have the join button right down there. And don't get me wrong, we don't have that $5.99 join. We got that option, but we also have the $1.99 join as well, and everyone gets the gear. Everyone's equal, no matter how much you join for. And we're gonna have some perks in there as well. So make sure you hit that join button and go buy one of those awesome, vibrant Techne tees. I probably should have scripted that, right? That was an absolute mess right there. But anyways, talking about scripting, as you all know, I do not script any of my videos. This one is not scripted as well, so it'll probably be a little bit of jumble. I'll put time stamps down there so you can go through each one if you want to check out a certain spot right there. And now I have covered this briefly in my previous video, the Inside Look Tech Review or whatever it's called, right? But I want to go a lot more in depth right here and just share some more of it with you guys. And I think where we should start, because this is definitely the most common, and that is free products, as far as companies sending you free product to review. And why I say this is the biggest topic right here is because any YouTuber around with like 5,000 subscribers and up, definitely around 10,000 and up, and especially now with, I'm not big by any means, what I got 70,000 or something like that, you know what I mean? But you start getting a lot more products from companies. I got a whole bunch. I still buy a lot of the stuff myself, but again, I got a bunch from companies over there too. Some of them, heck, I don't even get to. But talking about free products, this is one that can be really taken a whole bunch of different ways. Let's talk about Durgod and HK Gaming. You all know I review tons of their products, and every video just about, I love them. The Mira S recently had some scroll wheel issues out of the 4 copies I had. But again, we called that out, you know what I mean? But let's talk about the Venus and then the Hades down here, right? I recommend them constantly. And why I do that, like honestly right here, is I love it. It's just the value, the quality within their products. Like, I honestly haven't tested, minus that Mira S, a bad product from them, you know what I mean? And you can go watch other tech reviews and they say the same thing. So again, with all that right there, the value and stuff like that, I honestly love them. I'll put my name all over it, you know what I mean? But the weird thing about this is you can take it that way. Like you can say, oh, hey, Techne's getting paid by this company or Techne's sponsored by this company. No, they send me the product, sure. But you can take it as a viewer, you kind of take it as, wow, man, he's just sponsored by this product, you know, or this company, you know, and they're paying him to say this constantly over and over. And all I can tell you is that's not the case ever, you know, at least with me. No company has ever paid me for any product review. But where I want to go with this is like, let's talk about Razer. This is one company that really just boils me up a little bit with their marketing strategies. Let's focus on this. The Huntsman Mini, right? We all saw a lot of these reviews. A lot of people got them with their name printed on a space bar. They came in a nice wooden box and everything. Really cool display. But just think about it that way. This company is sending you this with that type of display and presentation. They understand you're a good representative for the company. You're going to represent that product right. And they're kind of fueling you with that, right? You might think, nah, they're not going to tell me what to say, this, that, or the other. You know what I mean? That's just the nature of the game, you know what I mean? That's why you can take free products similar to like sponsorship, unpaid sponsorship. Think about it myself when I was younger. I used to skate a lot, right? I don't know if any of you have skated. When you're younger, what was your goal with skating, right? But besides conquering that next trick, you know what I mean? The goal for any of us kids skating was always to get a sponsor. And what was a sponsor in skating or any sport pretty much, right? It was never really money. It was getting free gear, right? Clothes, shoes, whatever, and just tons of gear. And that's pretty much the way I go with Razer. And they try to implement that into product reviewers, and that's where I think it's completely wrong with product reviewers. It's fine, like, send this all day long with people's names printed on it and just make the light say it as well for streamers. Streamers should be sponsored and promoted that way, not product reviewers. You're fueling them and you're just putting it out there for that, you know what I mean? And the thing that really upset me about this, and you can go on Razer's website and look at this right now, you go to their custom pads, and they have a few YouTubers right there, some bigger YouTubers, and they got their own custom pads. It's like, and that's the thing that really kind of just sparked it. And I said, this needs to be talked about, right? I got unfollowed with some of the stuff I said. I got unfollowed by some of the bigger YouTubers. You know who you are if you're watching this, you know what I mean? Again, people don't like how I'm vocal about this, but when you put your name on one of these big companies' products, like, I don't even, like, you can't put it in words. Like, it is so fake. I'm so passionate about it, and it drives me stinking nuts. You know what I mean? I understand you're putting your name on this product, and then they're selling it. You're getting a percentage or 10%, whatever. So be it. We all got affiliate links, right? We're all making money from these products, but you can't put that in the same class as me putting an affiliated link for this review down in the review video for this, as you putting your name on a mouse pad or whatever like that and selling it through that company. You understand? Whew. Again, I'm just very passionate about this, and that boils my skin right there. It's like, it's fake beyond fake, and it's not cool. I'm all about making money, doing whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? But when you're a product reviewer, being sponsored and selling products with your name on it through that company is beyond fake, and just, it's not cool. It's not. Like, you can say, oh, well, I love the product, that's why my name's on it. No, you're representing the company now with your name on their product. And that's what it's being. Think about it. If you trash this keyboard, which it didn't, right, in many reviews, is that company gonna sell their product with your name on it? No, they're not, all right? So that just really boils me right there. And again, you take it how you want. You can go to Razer's website and check it out right now. Again, it's just, it absolutely boils me. All right, so I want to touch on a couple other companies as far as my experience, all right? We talked about Razer and HK. Some of you know another funny thing about Razer. I told you about the mouse before. They wanted me to review it, like $189. I told them no, I don't think it's worth it. I don't see the value in it. And I put that in my email. Maybe I shouldn't have put that in my email and I would have been better off. Just should have said no. But anyways, ever since then, I haven't heard from Razer. I've tried contacting them because I love a lot of their products. Heck, this, what is this right down here? Black Widow Elite. I absolutely love that keyboard. It's one of my favorite, you know, with the yellow switches. But anyways, I guess you got to love every single Razer product and recommend it, and it be your new main to be able to work with them. And sorry, I guess that's just not me. But anyways, talking about that, like the Razer situation, makes me absolutely sick. Let's talk about HyperX. This was so cool. I recently partnered with them working, and in their email to me, talking about it like, hey, straight up, this is a marketing person or whatever. Don't be scared to, you know, not trash, but pick apart our product and tell people what's wrong with it. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear how we can make our products better in the future, you know, and they just kind of really elaborated on it. And I said, wow, this is stinking awesome. And I hope they really mean it. You know, again, my point on that board, I wish it was a TKL, you know. And I'm sure they've seen some of my other videos. There's a lot of HyperX products I can't stand, and then some of them I really love, you know what I mean? So it's awesome that they really came out, said that, and presented that. It made me a huge fan of HyperX. I absolutely love that where you come to product reviewers like that. That is just hands down the best right there. And no, these companies don't really ever tell us what to say. They don't. Again, I've worked with Razer before. They didn't tell me what to say, you know? But again, with HyperX coming out there and saying, hey, don't worry about picking it apart. This is what we want because we want to know how to build in the future. Stinking awesome. Now let's talk about SteelSeries. I've worked with them a few times now. Awesome company. You all know I'm a big SteelSeries fan, right? But let's talk about that. I'm a huge SteelSeries fan. As y'all saw, a lot of people call me SteelSeries fanboy. And why that is, right in line with Durgod and HK Gaming, their products are just great. There's not many I've tested that are not good for me. I love them. I use their headsets daily. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the Apex 3. If y'all saw my review on that, I just trashed it. I didn't recommend it, you know what I mean? I couldn't stand it. I didn't think it was worth the money, you know what I mean? So again, even on a brand I absolutely love, you still gotta, you know, let the consumer, the viewer, because that's honestly who we work for. We work for you guys. You want to call it entrepreneurship and you're working for yourself. No, we're working for the viewers, and that's what it should be, you know what I mean? So again, if it's even a brand I love, I'm still gonna let you know if it's a junky product, you know what I mean? And some companies are cool with that. I still work with SteelSeries, you know, I still work with Durgod and hopefully more with HyperX, you know, but again, with a company like Razer, I don't work with them anymore, and it's just, I just feel their practices are just total baloney. And by the way, one last thing, wrapping up free products right here. I want you to go check out this video by Gamer Nexus. He's talking about MSI. I'm gonna link it right down in the description. He's a much bigger YouTuber than me. I think like, what are they, almost at like 1 million or something like that, right? So taking it from a big YouTuber like that and they're talking about MSI, check his video out. He'll let you know a little more gritty stuff. Again, when you get into money and, you know, big products and stuff, like expensive products, it's a really good take right there. I highly recommend you watching that. Again, a perspective coming from a much bigger YouTuber. So next up, what I want to talk about here is sponsored videos. And again, that kind of goes, you can kind of take free products right in line with sponsors. Again, talking about like the whole skate thing, right? Like, okay, they're giving you this free product, so is that considered a sponsor? And I gotta say no. What a sponsor would be is take a streamer, again, for example, they gotta wear Dr. Disrespect and let's say Turtle Beach. He always has Turtle Beach headsets on, you know what I mean? Is that his favorite headset? I don't know, you know, but he's sponsored by them, that's why he has them on. Just like any other streamer with Logitech, this, that, or the other, you know what I mean? So again, you can take sponsored people. I've seen sponsored people try to do reviews on products, a lot of Logitech and stuff, and take that with a grain of salt, because again, they're getting paid by that company. That is a sponsor. A free product's not really a sponsor. You can take it here or there, but again, streaming and pro gamers is where sponsors should stay. And it's a shame that those companies ask these people to do reviews online because they review them and they praise them. But again, they're paid by the company, not necessarily for that review, but just by the company. So as far as my experience with paid sponsored videos, I've never been paid by any of these companies. Any of these big companies never asked. Now, what I can tell you is a lot of these, let me get these down here. A lot of you know I just recently started diving into like earbud reviews. I just absolutely love them. I use them so much. I'm just so passionate about music. I wanted to dive into it. And I can tell you, this isn't long ago, what, a month or whatever? And I've already had probably about 3 emails from companies saying, hey, how much do you charge for a review? We'd love to just review our product and then give us your rate and we'll pay you. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. And that's what I told them. Again, out of 3 of those emails right there, I told them, no, I don't do that. You can send me the product. I'll test them out. And if I think it deserves a review, I'll review it. But no, you're not going to pay me for a review, because then you're kind of brought into that. I guess you don't have to say it's good, you know what I mean? But they're paying for that commercial. And that goes right in line with, you notice a lot of YouTubers are doing the beginning of their videos. I used to do it when I first started because I thought it was what you're supposed to do, right? Hey, this company sent me this product, but I'm still going to give you my honest opinion no matter what the company sends me, this, that, or the other. Again, I used to do it when I first started YouTube because I thought it was what you're supposed to do. But now when you look at it, it's kind of like, dude, do you have to tell me that? Like, I can get the vibe through the video if it's, you know, not necessarily paid off, but it's fluffy promotion or something like that, you know? So that's why I don't say it anymore. Some people may like that, may not like it. But again, I want you to get the vibe of me and the product throughout the video. I don't got to throw you some baloney about it being sponsored or not. So now that can be taken the wrong way very easily as far as me talking about sponsors, you know. I've never done any for, again, any sort of product I review. But as far as a product that I use daily, like Glassy Hour, I've plugged them before. Use code Techne for 10% off, you know what I mean? It's a product I use every single day. And it's not focused around like a brand or something, you know. I'm not putting my name on it and trying to advertise it like that. You know, if it's something I use constantly, Crocs, you know, I'd love to do a sponsor with Crocs. How cool would that be? You know, you got to be real big for that, you know. But something like that I use daily, then I'd be willing to plug an ad or something like that. I've had, besides even just company products, like, what are these VPN things or these companies, weird companies that sell game codes and stuff? I've gotten so many emails from them about, hey, we'll pay you X amount. And it's usually quite a few hundred, you know what I mean? If not more, about these things. And I just tell them, no, man, I don't even know what the heck you are or what the heck you're selling. Why am I going to tell someone else to buy it? You know what I mean? That's just not my style, and I'll never do that. So as you're catching on right here, a lot of this can be taken multiple ways. As far as sponsor, free product and stuff, again, going back to the Razor thing, they send you stuff with your name on it, fluffy packaging and everything like that to kind of just entice you. Like, hey, if you want this stuff early, you want this cool stuff like that, say something good because we're going to keep on sending to you. We'll promote you on our social media platforms and stuff like that. Again, I think those practices are very bad, and you need to step away from that with product reviewers. Focus on sponsors like your pro gamers or your streamers or something. They need to stop doing that with product reviewers because it's just, in my opinion, it is 100% fake. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't, I just don't think companies should be, you know, promoting that to drive as far as putting names. I'm not talking about the Huntsman Mini, so don't take that the wrong way, putting people's names on that. That's minor, like who cares? But as far as on a product that's being sold through that website, I just think shouldn't be done. And again, you can take it either way as far as it being free product, sponsored, paid. It's all within the same thing right there, and that's just shouldn't be done, man. All right, so now that I've completely confused myself and went on almost like a rant right here, again, I'm just so passionate about this, guys. I always have been. So again, sorry if I'm going on a rant or anything like that. But the last thing I want to talk about right here is products that we pay for ourselves. And I think every YouTuber does this, you know what I mean? Let's go on and take the HyperX Alloy Origins core right here. I paid for this myself. Absolutely love this board. And talking about me loving this board, right? I got to go to the store, play with it, and then order online or whatever I did. I knew what I wanted. I knew I liked it, so I can come out here and review it. A lot of viewers can take it as, oh, that's a HyperX sponsor, you know what I mean? Like the majority of the SteelSeries, I've had SteelSeries send me like maybe 3 or 4 things. Everything else I've paid for myself, you know? So a lot of people can take this as like a sponsored video, and you kind of can, because think about if you buy, I keep going back to the Huntsman Mini, this thing just boiled me so much recently right here, right? If you buy this, right, you're just trying to, you can take it as 2 ways, right? Does he like the product, or is he just trying to butter up the company to get a deal with the company down the road? You know what I mean? And again, that's where you as the viewer, you got to take it and really pick it apart, not just listen to a couple of things that the viewer says. If you watch 3 minutes of the video and you're hearing about all the good things, you can't judge the YouTuber or the product that way. You know, we know the majority of people watch 3 to 4 minutes, right? But that's, if you watch the whole video, you can kind of pick it apart, feel if the viewer, he or she or whatever, the product reviewer is being true and honest about it, and just letting him know his personal use of it, not just rattling off some specs, trying to make it some sort of commercial. That's where you can pick it apart. But again, if you're just watching 3 minutes of it, you really can't pull that apart. Because again, like I praised the Alloy, but I let a couple things out that I didn't like about it. And again, I paid for it myself, and I absolutely love it. But as I stated, there's a lot of HyperX products I don't like, and I'm still going to review them, right? You can always hide behind that too as a product reviewer. Say, oh shoot, man, this thing, Mini again, right? Oh, this thing's just junk. Let me not review it because the company's not going to like what I say about it. You know what I mean? That's the other route that really upsets me, right? You review everything besides the bad things. Like, you have viewers that are going to want to know about that other product. And if they like the stuff you use, they might want to hear about that. But if it's bad and you pass it up because you think you're going to upset the company, that's just not cool either, you know what I mean? Like, review it if it's bad and let them know, you know? Can you review everything? No. I got so much stuff I haven't reviewed, you know what I mean? I've had products before that I've told the company, hey man, this is 110% complete trash. I'm not going to review it, right? And I'll send it back to them, you know what I mean, if it's that absolute bad, you know? And I've reviewed many that were like that deserved a review. The Cooler Master mouse, right? I absolutely trashed that thing. Man, I still haven't heard from Cooler Master. I really like a lot of their stuff. It's a shame. I've reviewed one bad product. Now I can't hear back from them ever, you know? I mean, heck, half my PC stuff is Cooler Master, but whatever. So again, that's kind of the route right there that you can take, talking about stuff like that, talking about my Razer experience, talking about my Cooler Master experience, you know? How I don't hear back from them because I absolutely just trashed one of their products in it. But if you got a bad product, man, it's a bad product, and you got to take it like that and take it the way HyperX did, right? Just let us know what it is and we'll build off and we'll get better at it, you know what I mean? So, but a lot of companies want those free, or not free, but those very cheap commercials on YouTube, right? You send them, so let me send them a $200 or $100 keyboard and get 20, 30,000 people to watch it, if not more. Heck, that's a pretty cheap commercial if you're asking me. So all in all, I hope you were able to take something from this. Again, I know I was all over the place. I'm just so passionate about it that this is something that we got to like sit down and go get something to eat and just talk about, you know, for a few hours. Because I could go on and on about it, you know what I mean? And I'm very passionate about it. And like I said in the beginning, I know a lot of people don't like that. But I will always express this in the more insight. I just like sharing it with you guys. I was curious, and I'm sure some of you are as well, you know? So all in all, what can you take from this right here? Is, again, from my perspective, is make sure you're watching the video and you pick the pieces out of it, right? Like, what are you getting from it? You can go on to company websites, and let me tell you what, if you ever go on SteelSeries website and you see a mouse pad or a mouse with my logo or name on it, unsubscribe from me right away. You know, that is the worst of the worst. Like, for me, that is way beyond anything I would ever want for me at least. I know other people that have different things about it, and that's that way, but again, I represent you guys, the viewer, right? That's my community, is the viewer. I make these videos for you guys. I work for you guys, and that's what I want to share you. I would feel so bad if I recommended, golly, the Huntsman Mini again. I would feel so bad if I recommended this $130 keyboard and you went out and bought it and you got it home and you're like, wow, man, this is a complete piece of junk. I will never listen to you again. You know what I mean? Not even that you won't listen to me again. Just the fact that you spent your $130 on a piece of junk product. It was just, it ate me alive. And it's like, again, I put my name on the products that I absolutely love, and I truly do. So that's what I think you can take out from it. You know, again, kind of do your research and just make sure you're listening to what you're watching and not just picking it apart to your own bit, but again, just really diving into it and getting that, just feeling the video, not getting wrapped up into your favorite products, whether it be SteelSeries, Razer, HyperX, you know, HK Gaming, whatever. Don't get hooked into that brand advertisement. Get hooked into the review and listen to the product. That's all I can tell you, and that's the only way you can take it, and that's how I take it. A lot of YouTubers I love, right? But I can tell when it's an ad. And I still watch them. I still like them and everything. But again, I can tell when this is some fluffy sponsored video. So let's go on and close this out. If you got any questions, definitely ask them down in the comments. Shoot me an email. Hit me up on Twitter at the Techne1. I'll definitely answer any more. Again, I love talking about this right here. I'm sorry it was an absolute mess right here. Hopefully you took something from it. But again, I'll do some more of these in the future. If there's anything else you guys want to hear about, let me know and I'll make a video about it. I just really enjoy these right here. And again, I'm not trying to point anyone out or bash anyone. It's just my honest take on how product reviews should be done. So anyways, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope it was informative for you. And what you can take away from this is be honest, be straightforward, and just say it how it is. Honesty first, and that's, again, how this should be ran. But again, thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for some future tech videos. Hey, I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.